Good day everyone, Mr. Cargill here with our next AutoCAD video. Now for this video, we're going to look at how we go about drawing isometric circles and also isometric curves, and how we go about drawing objects that have isometric circles. Alright, so first thing with isometric circles, if you're using AutoCAD, if you're using the AutoCAD application, then you can easily select isometric circles. It's very simple. However, if you are using AutoCAD Web, you will have to manually construct your circles, which is what we're going to look at. So we're going to look at how we manually construct the circles, and also how we go about just selecting the isometric circles AutoCAD. Also, this video can also help you if you're working like manually drawing the circles on paper. It's the same way that you would go about doing it in AutoCAD Web. Whether you are using the AutoCAD application, whether you're going to be manually doing the drawings on paper, or if you're using AutoCAD Web, this video can help you with isometric circles. Alright, so for isometric circles, first thing first, I'm going to start with how we go about drawing them in AutoCAD. Alright, so in AutoCAD, if I want an isometric circle, alright, first thing, let me go back to it. Alright, so this right here is just our regular 2D drawing plane. We want an isometric plane, we just click right over here on isodraft. So click isodraft, then we will get the isometric plane. You can see that these grid lines are now tilted at 30 degrees. Alright, this is not available in AutoCAD Web. Alright, so here, no, let's say I want to draw an isometric circle, and the isometric circle has a radius of 25 millimeters. What I would do is to type ellipse. Alright, I would type ellipse, and then it says specify center, axis, and stuff like that. But what I'm going to be paying attention to is right here. It says arc, center, and isocircle. I want an isometric circle, so I'm going to type I for isometric circle and then press enter. So now it's going to draw an isometric circle for me. So it says specify center of isocircle. So center of a circle is, let's say, here. And you can see that. Alright, so that would be if the circle is to the right of the figure. Alright, and I want the radius to be 25. I will just type 25, enter. I have my isocircle. So that circle here is the same as this circle right here. Alright, but what if I wanted the circle to the top? I would simply, I could do two things. I could just click on the drop down arrow and click on isoplane top. So click isoplane top, you see now these grid lines change. Alright, and now I could draw a circle like that would be on the top of a figure. Instead of coming over here and clicking the drop down and selecting iso top left, I could also press Ctrl F5, and there you can see the grid lines changing when I do Ctrl F5. That's a shortcut. Alright, so now if I wanted a circle there, alright, right now I'm just drawing the circles in abstract, but then I'm going to look at how we do circles and different drawings and stuff like that. Alright, so don't worry, we'll go through our drawing with isometric circles. Alright, so look at this now. If I wanted the circle to be at the top, right here now, I would just simply select ellipse again. I would type ellipse. Alright, and then I would type I. So just type ellipse, click on ellipse, and then select I for isocircle, and press enter. And then depending on where the center of your circle would be, let's say the center was here, and I would type 25 for the radius, and I will get that. I want it to be over the right side, you just select isoplane right, or again you can use the Ctrl F5 shortcut. That's right, this is right, I want it over the left side this time. I would select isoplane. Alright, and same thing, you type ellipse, get that, type I for isocircle. And then now you just select where you want the circle to be. The center of my circle was here. I click there and the radius is 25. I type 25 and press enter. Alright? And that's how you go about simply drawing the isometric circles AutoCAD. Alright, this might be a bit confusing right now because it's just done in abstract. There's no actual drawing. We're going to go through our drawing. Alright, now how do we go about constructing isometric circles if we are not in AutoCAD. All right. What if it's a case where we're using AutoCAD web, or we're doing the drawings on paper, and those options don't, that those avenues does not give us the, they don't give us the option to select an isometric circle like that. So what we would do in that case is this: we would find what the construct for isometric circles methods here. So for example, if I wanted to draw this isometric circle here, all right, the one over the right side, I would have to first create an isometric block. All right. So if you are using AutoCAD web, you would not be able to just simply select the grid lines, because the grid lines, you want grid lines. So you would have the regular grid lines like this. You wouldn't have iso blocks, so you would have the regular grid lines like that. So what you would have to do is to click on the angle and set your angle to 30 degrees, 30, 60, 90, and so on, since isometric is done at a 30-degree angle. And now if the diameter of your circle is say 50, then you would have to draw an isometric box, all right, that has a length of that is 50 by 50. So let's go. So let's draw this box. So you go down like this. Start, let me just a bit more. Yeah. All right, so I would do like this. I'll come over here. Let me start like, so I'll draw this down by 50. All right, then I will draw this out at the 30-degree angle like that by 50, and bring that up by 50, and then just join that. All right, so there I would have my box, my isometric box. So now in Object Snap, ensure that you have a midpoint turned on, and I will just simply draw lines to the midpoint like this. All right, and do the same thing over. Now when you're going to be drawing an isometric circle on the right side of the drawing, on the right side of a figure, like we have this over here, now I'm going to draw it right here like this. You see I have some lines here. I have a line that goes from this midpoint to that end point, from that end point to that midpoint, and a line that goes this end point through the center to the end point. We're going to draw those lines. All right, so from this end point to that end point there. All right, and the important thing about manually constructing isometric circles using this method is remember how you go about laying out your lines. All right, so then now I'm going to draw a line from this end point to that center, and then from this midpoint, not center, that end point, and from this midpoint to that end point. So now I have the lines like I have them here. All right, I have those lines up. So how do I get this isometric circle now? All right, let me select. All right, so to do that, we can do a number of things. Now I'm going to get 1/4. I'm going to explain that. So over here I could use circle, but if I use circle I would have to end up trimming a lot of things, and I don't want to have to be doing a lot of trimming. So instead I'm going to select arc. So I would click on the drop down beside arc, and there are different options that you can choose, and you would choose, I use, there are different ones that you can use, but the one that I like using is start, center, length. All right, so I would select start, center, and length. All right, so now it says specify the start point of your arc. Now I'm going to draw the arc in this corner right here, all right, which would be this quarter of the isometric circle, that quarter right there. All right, so it says start, center, length. So in this case this would be starting right here. All right, so it starts there. Where is the center? This is the center right here. All right, and where's the length? It is going to end right there. So that's a quarter of my isometric circle. All right, no, that is if you were doing this on AutoCAD web. If you were doing this manually on paper, then you would just simply click on this point right here. Sorry, not click. You'd have your compass point right here. All right, open it to this point right here, and then scribe an arc, and the arc would end right there. So again, compass point here, open to this point here, scribe an arc, and that would end right there. Good. Now To get the next quarter down here, it's the same thing. I'm going to select start, center, length again. All right, because it is one of the best methods of drawing arcs for when you're doing these isometric circles. Okay, so start, center, length. Click on that. Then where is this going to start now? So this is going to start about right here. Right, center is here and it ends right here. All right, so then right there I'll get the next quarter of the isometric circle. All right, right here. Cool. So it starts here, this is the center, and it ends here. Again, if you were doing this manually, compass point here, open it to here, and then you scribe an arc. Okay, good. Now for here, or this here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to select start, center, length again. All right, this case we're going to start here where this one ends. The center is this point here. Good. And then we're going to end over here. Now I can see that the arc is trying to draw itself over there. So what that means is that instead of starting here, I'm going to start here. So let's do this then. I'm going to start here. Okay. Make this the center and then end here. All right. So then I get the next quarter of my isometric circle. Okay. So right there, I have the next quarter of my isometric circle. All right. So again, now we start here, the center, and then that's the length, the end point. Okay. Now, if you're doing this manually, you would simply put your compass point at this point here, at this end point, open it to right here, and then scribe that arc and get that. Okay, good. All right, so now to get this next part over here, we simply select start, center, length. This time, let's see if we start here, use this as the center, and then this is the length right there. Okay, so again, start, center is here, then it ends right there, and we finish our isometric circle right there. And if you were doing this on paper, compass point right here, when your compass to this point here, and then you scribe your arc. Okay, and you get that. All right, so just like that, we have this isometric circle here. We just reproduced it over. Yeah, nice. Now, what about if we were doing the one at the top? All right, so for the top, it's the same principle. We would have to get our isometric box. All right, that is 50 by 50. So let me see, from here now, I will draw this line out like that at 30 degrees, well 150 in this case, because it is isometric, and as you know, it's done at 30 degrees. And a straight line would be 180. 180 minus 30 is 150, so that's why in this case it's 150 over here. All right, and this is going to be 50. Why 50? Because our circle is 50. Our isometric circle is 50, so the box that we use to get it would have to be 50. Just to like a construction line. And then from here I do the same thing. I just draw this line out by 50. I could also just copy this line, the first line that I drew. I could draw a line from here by 50 like that, and then join up here. Okay, but I could also copy this line and bring it over here. Now, since we have the box, we can now go about constructing the circle. Similar to what we did here, we simply draw a line from the midpoint to this midpoint over here, and then from this midpoint to that midpoint over here. So we basically divided the isometric box into 4 equal parts. All right, and now we can go about constructing our circle. So here, this was the longest diagonal. All right, this was the longest diagonal in this box. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that if I was to draw a line from here to this point, which is the next diagonal, it would be shorter than this diagonal here. So this line here represents the longest diagonal. So over here now, on the top, the longest diagonal wouldn't be here. This would be the shorter one. So the longest diagonal in this case would be from here to here. All right, so that's the longest diagonal. So remember how the lines are set out. Just remember that these lines that go through the center always represent the longest diagonal. Nice. All right, good. Now, to get these two lines, we have a line here from the midpoint to the end point here, from this end point to that midpoint. Let's draw those two lines. So from this midpoint to that end point, and from this end point to that midpoint. Good. Now we can start drawing our isometric circle. So just like we did down here, we're going to select start. We're going to select start center length. Again, you can select it from here. All right. Now, in this case, we want to get this quarter here. So this, we're going to start here. Let me see if we start here. That's the center, and then this is the length. It's drawing itself over there. Let me just select the right color. All right. So start center length. We're going to start here. This is the center here, and then that's the length, and we get that quarter. All right, if you're doing it manually, this is the center, all right, where this line meets the longest diagonal right here. That's the center. Compass point there, open the compass to there, and then you scribe that arc. Okay, now to get this next quarter down here, we select start center length again. We can start here, use that as the center, and that's the length. All right, it's got itself in the wrong direction, so start here, use this as the center, and then that's the length right there. Okay, start center length. Good. All right, and now again, if you're doing it on paper, compass point here, open it to there, and scribe your arc. So we want to get this cut over here. So start center length again. Let's start here. Use this as the center, and it's so we start here, use this as the center, and end right there. Okay, what we just did was select start center end. We start here, use this as the center, and end right here. You're doing it manually. Compass point here, when you compass to this point, and your arc. Good. So click on start center end again to get this last quarter. Click here. Where's the start? Let's start here. Use this as the center and end here. Actually, start on this side. So start here. Use this as the center and end right. All right. Just like that, we have our isometric circle. You're doing it manually. Compass point here. Open it to this point and scribe arc. Okay. And with that, the only part that's left is this part, and this we do this part the same way how we do the top, and I can show you what I mean by that. So let me select all right, so if I did this now, let me just draw this down by 50 and bring this across like that. All right, so in this case, we're going to now divide the circle into four, like the rectangle, sorry, the square, into 4 equal parts, like that. Just like we did for the next two. Then we draw the longest diagonal, which in this case would be from here to here. All right. Then we're going to draw a line from this endpoint to that midpoint, and from this midpoint to that endpoint. So it's similar to how we did the one up here. Okay, good. Now for this, now we select start center end to get the first quarter. Let's start here, use this as the center. Let me select the right color. Start center end, so we start here, use this as the center, and end right there. Okay, start here, use this as the center, end here. Okay, and now we're going to select this. We're going to start here, use this as the center, and end here. Of course, if you're doing it manually, compass point here, compass to this point, and scribe your arc. Compass point here, open your compass to this point, and scribe your arc. Nice. Now to get this quarter over here, we're going to select start center end, and in this case, let me see, we're going to start here, use this as the center, and end here. All right, so what we do is to start here, use this as the center, and end here. So now we select start center end, we're going to start here, this as the center, and end here. Sorry, we're going to end here actually. All right, if you're doing it manually, here come pause point here, open it to this point and scribe your arc. Pause point here, open it to that point and scribe your arc. All right, so that's how we go about drawing isometric circles. Okay, if you're doing it in AutoCAD, it's easier. Now we're going to look at actually drawing an isometric figure that has an isometric circle, or as a that has an isometric circle, or an isometric circle. All right, for that figure here, this drawing. All right, so this is an isometric circle, so we're going to complete this drawing here. Good. Now to do that, what we're going to do, it says that this diameter here is 34. All right, and these lines here, those lines tell us that this thing right here, the circular, the cylindrical part of the figure, is located in the center of the isometric block. All right, so we're going to draw the isometric block first, and then we're going to draw this figure right here. All right, so let's start with drawing the isometric block. So this says this is 36 by 48, so let's get that side first. So 36 and 48. Okay, so since I'm using AutoCAD, I'm just going to go into the isometric grid. All right, so to get that, I'm just going to choose a place to start. Let me go into white line. All right, so I'm going to draw this down by 36. Turn on ortho. Down by 36. Enter, and then across by 48. And I can complete this by just going up back by 36 and across by 48. All right, and just like that, we now have this side of the figure here. All right, that side that is 36 by 48. Okay, good. Now to get over here, to get over this side here, it says this entire side is 48, this is 14, and that is also 14. All right, so let's get the top first, because we know that this is 48. This is right here, so this is 48 by 48, so we can get the top part. All right, so to get that, we do this. So we'd have to change to iso top. So you can click the drop down and select isoplane top. All right, nice. So once we select isoplane top now, we can draw this 48. And then this also 48. And then we can close up that right there. So now we can draw this side over here. This distance down, you know, this is 36. So over here we can draw this down 36. So I have to change that to the isoplane right. Okay, so now I can draw this down by 36 and then across by 14. Why 14? Because right here it says that this is 14 and then it goes up by 24. All right, so let's do that. So this comes across by 14. All right, so 14 like that. Then we go up by 24. Okay, so then now here we just go across by 14 also and go up by 24, and then we just join those 2 points. All right, we have one line left before we start drawing a circle, which is this line that goes back right there. All right, so we have to draw that. We'll just come here and draw this out like that. So for that, we have to select isoplane top. And then we can draw this line. Right, like, and then trim it. Okay, there we have it. Alright. So now we have the base and we need to get the circle that is on the top of the figure. Okay? So now we need to get the circle that is on the top of the figure. Like right here. This part right here. So we're going to start with the base circle and we're going to bring it up. So to get that now, what we do is this. Since our circle is in the center, we have to draw a box in the center where the circle is. And it says that the diameter for the circle, alright, the diameter for the circle is 34. So 34 is the diameter. That means that the box that we're going to draw is going to be 34 by 34. Okay? So what we can do here is to draw a line to the center. Like this. Alright? Would you draw a line to the center? Good. And then now, from here, I can draw a line like this. Half of 34 is 17. So I'm just going to draw this line out like that by 17. Good. And then I'm going to extend it down here by 17. Alright? So that would be the center. But I don't want the box isn't in the directly there. It should go out a bit more. So this is what we're going to do. Since the box would be 34 by 34, so from here I'm going to offset this. I'm going to click on the line and select offset, and I'm going to offset that line by 17. Oh, I can't offset because I can't use the offset command because I'm in the isometric plane, so I can't select the offset command. So because I can't select the offset command, I will just do this from here. I can erase this line since I already got my center. Alright. So I know the center is here. So from here I can just draw this line out by 17. Like that. And then project this down by 17 also. Alright. Then to complete my box, all I have to do is to just draw lines through it. So let me say this first. If I was just to draw this line, I'm doing it in AutoCAD, so I have the option of just selecting ellipse. Once I find the center of where my circle is, I have the option of just selecting ellipse. And then from there, after I select ellipse, and it says I just type I for isocircle, click in the center, and then just make the radius 17. And I will get isometric circle there. Alright? So that's how you would do it in AutoCAD, of course. Good? But I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to do it the manual way, like we did the ones over here. Alright, so I have to complete this this thing right here. Let me just draw this out by 17. Bring this down by 34. Bring this across by 34. Bring that up by 34. And then join that. Okay. So now I'm going to manually construct this. So let me select some construction line. Alright. And technically, let me change these because these would also be constructed. Alright, so now the longest diagonal in this case is right here. Then we draw a line from this endpoint to that midpoint, and from this midpoint to that endpoint. Okay? So now, with that, we can start drawing our isometric circle. So let me select start, center, length. So for this one, we start here, the center is here. Let me change the color. So for this one, we start here, the center is here, and we end there. we get the first quarter. Okay, now we need to get this quarter over here also. So to get that, we can arc. We're gonna start here, center, and we end here, and we get that quarter. Okay, and again, if you're doing it manually, compass point here, open it to there, grab an arc. Compass point here, open it to here, grab an arc. Start center length again. I'm going to start, let me see, start here, this as the center, and then end right there. All right, that's my next quarter. Start here, center, length. If you're doing it manually, compass point here, open to that point, grab your arc. All right, so I need to get this quarter also. So to get that quarter, start center length again. Start here, sorry, not actually there. Start here, length there, and we end here. All right. So again, if you're doing it manually, compass point here, open it to this point, describe your arc. Okay. Nice. Just like that, we have our isometric circle. Now we need to bring this up, as you can see over here. All right. You can see that, and it says that we're going to bring that up by 24. Okay, that goes up by 24. So to get that part, here's what we're going to do. If I click on this, it's just going to select a quarter, and I want to select everything. I'm going to join all of these and create one circle. So I'm going to click on all of them and type J, enter. So now they're joined. If I click on one, it says everything. All right, so now here, this is what I have to do. I am going to have to bring this up by 24. So how do I do that? And click on this circle, select copy, click on the center of the circle, and bring it up by 24. All right, so first I have to come out of the isoplane and go into the correct isoplane. Let me do that first. So let me come out of that and select isoplane left or right, and I'm going to bring this up by 24 like that and press enter. All right, so I just brought that up by 24. Okay, good. All right, now so when I bring that up by 24, okay, once I bring that up by 24, if I select a line and in object snap, ensure that I have quadrant turned on and also quadrant and tangent, and from this quadrant there, I'm going to draw a line down to that quadrant there. So come over here, and from this midpoint here, I draw a line down to this midpoint there. Okay, so now if I trim, type TR, enter, I can trim that. Sorry, that since I won't see that, trim that, this, I won't see this either, so I'll trim that part. Right, and then I would also trim here since I'm not seeing that, trim that. This, let me just change this to and just like that, I have my isometric figure. Right, these are construction lines. Let me put them in a different layer on them so that you can see clearly. Let me put these in the depth point. Let me freeze that layer. Let the zero layer and yep, there. So there we have it, and that's our figure. Right, that's our figure right there. All right, and that is how you go about drawing isometric circles. So you'd go about drawing isometric circles, and yeah. So now we'd have to dimension our drawing. And in the last video, in the first video, I showed you how to dimension the regular sides of the isometric drawing. So I'm going to show you how you dimension a circle. So to dimension a circle, you just draw a line from the center to one of the ends like that, and then I'm going to select this here, leader, multi-leader. I'm going to click on that. All right, I'm going to click here and bring this up a little. Let me turn off ortho. Just bring this out a little, like up here, and then you would enter the radius. So in this case, the radius for this circle is 17. So let me delete this and do that over. Alright, so I select multi-leader, come over here, click on a point, right at that point, click over here, and I'm going to type R17. Enter. Click outside. Alright, and that tells me that the radius is 17. So that's how you would do on a circle in isometric. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you did find the video very helpful. And do have yourself a wonderful day. If you did find the video helpful, remember to drop a like and to subscribe. And also comment and let me know what other videos you would like for me to do. Alright, so thank you and do have yourselves a wonderful day.